Good morning, faithful watchers and listeners. If you watched my video yesterday, you'll know that it was a piece of crap. Um, I was actually trying out a new video feed that new video software that I was working with to simulcast on multiple channels at once. So, for those of you that did see it and watched through to the end, you'll be getting the Nobel Peace Prize. So that is just stay tuned till the end, and you'll get it at the end. But anyway, it was really a terrible video, but I wanted to redo it because I really feel like some of the stuff that I added was valuable, and so I am here this morning redoing this video, and hopefully you'll get something out of it. If you don't get anything out of it, then don't blame me. That's your fault. So I want to talk about local SEO. What is local SEO? SEO has a big misnomer in the industry that a lot of people think it's putting a bunch of words into the website and then people will find you. That's not the case at all. Local SEO is actually the way that people find you that are just around the corner. That are in proximity to your business. It is one of the most popular ways to find anyone today. And yet people are so confused by what local SEO is. I sell local. It's part of what my business is, and what I do essentially is it's digital marketing. So it's websites, it's social media posting, um, it's so SEO. It's keyword, long keywords, short tail keywords, all that kind of fun stuff that you hear about, and that the nerds talk about. But one of the things that you don't hear about is the local aspect of that, and what that means essentially is that, so if you think about 50% of the searches are done locally, so that means that anytime you type into Google, you're going to add something at the end called near me, basically. If you type in pizza parlors, it'll pop up and it'll say pizza parlors near me. And usually people click on that. And when they click on that, they get the first three or so stores of a pizza parlor. And so but what does that do for the rest of them that are on Google? Well, that's funny you should ask that. A lot of them don't get seen. A lot of them don't have that link juice, or that, for lack of a better term, chutzpah to to be able to get what they need out of the search. And so people, a lot of times, those places are not found. And so what I want to do is change that today. I want to help you understand why that is, first of all, and then secondly, in the second video that I'm going to produce, it's going to talk about how to change that aspect, things that you can do today to make a big difference for your business. Today, digital marketing is top of mind. Local businesses need to be doing it, and big businesses are doing it sometimes incorrectly. Marketing is current. It's currently what it is it's current customers talking to future customers. And what I mean by that is that every time somebody searches that business and clicks on that business, it gives legitimacy to that business so that people can find you. And basically with reviews and things like that, it's all current customers that are utilizing that business that are marketing to the future customers. And so if you're doing it right, that's how it works with SEO. So I want to go over a couple things. There's four, I laid out some major things in the title of this that I wanted to go over. And first is be found. So how do you get found? Making sure that your listings are done correctly. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in this video, but I want you to just be aware that that is a really important aspect of local SEO, is listings, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Reviews are really important because those are Google likes reviews. They actually rank you based on those reviews, and I'll talk about how they do that and why they do that, and why that's important for you as if you own a business or you are interested in understanding how this works. Be engaged. Be engaged with your customer base. You need to chat with your customer base. You need to talk to your customer base. things like web chat, messenger, click to call. All these things are tools, they're technologies that allow you to connect with your customer base um, on their level, on the way that they want to. Be the best. And how do you be the best? You've got to have data. You've got to be able to utilize analytics, insights, and sometimes even surveys to figure out where your customer base is. Now, the surveys can't be long. Nobody likes a long survey. I can't tell you how many times I get a survey monkey and I ignore it. It's one question, two questions max, and so you want to be really judicious in how you utilize that tool, because it can drive people bonkers. Nobody likes taking a survey when it's long and drawn out. So let's talk a little bit about percentages. Let's talk about the pie. What portion of the pie do each of these things take up, and what do you need to concentrate on as a business owner to make sure that you're doing the right thing as that business owner? Let's talk first about Google My Business. So Google My Business, I've talked about this so many times ad nauseum. It's really, really vitally important. If you don't know what I'm trying to say, it's vitally important, super important, to claim your business on Google. And so Google My Business makes up about 25% of all of those local SEO searches. And so people utilize that information when they just when they type in Google near me, whatever that business might be. That's the first thing that pops up is your Google My Business, but even before your website will pop up, because that's the information that they use to fill that in with your business name. Make sure your business is spelled properly. The title of your company. Make sure your phone number is correct. Make sure that your categories are correct. Make sure that your that your keywords for your business are correct. That kind of thing. These are all things that we do, and things that you need to do to make sure that you're doing the right thing for your business. Link signals. Link signals comprise about 16% of that overall pie, if you will. It's things like I don't want to get into the weeds about it, but it's the important stuff that you're using for your keywords and that kind of thing. Both long tail and short tail keywords. Long tail keywords, for those of you that don't know, are like sentences, sort of like sentences. They generally are hyper local to, like, say, Frisco or Baltimore or San Francisco. They're gonna have some sort of location located in them as well. And then domain authority, linking domain quality, that kind of thing. That's all stuff that makes sure that your links are not broken. Make sure that you don't have a bunch of redirects in your website. So it's really important, if you have broken links in your website or a page that people don't go to, eliminate that from your page, or find a different place to put the information that's on that page in a different place. That's really, really important, because you don't want it to slow you down. So the second thing is third thing, excuse me, is review signals. I talked about this earlier. I keep talking about this. Reviews are really important. And it comes down to review quality. It's not just somebody clicking on the stars and giving you like a 4-star or 5-star review. It's really writing a review about your business, talking about how clean it was, how friendly the staff was, your experience. Was it a positive one? Was it a negative one? Also, don't fret over negative reviews. Google, who cares about Yelp? But Google definitely likes reviews, both positive and negative, believe it or not, because it gives legitimacy to your business. That, things aren't always perfect, but most of the time they're pretty good. And so most people will take that into consideration as well. Everybody that has 100% is going to have a tough time. I've actually got a business that has great reviews. Every single review is almost a 4 or 5-star review. And so it's tough for them from an SEO perspective, but we work on that, and we have figured out some workarounds for that. And velocity of those reviews. How often do you get reviews and that kind of thing? Those are things that are really important as well. On-page signals. What are those? All this stuff is nerdy stuff, isn't it? Are you bored yet? If you get through the end of this, leave some comments for me and tell me if you have any questions about this stuff. Review signals. They're about 16%, 15, 16%, or excuse me, 13% of the importance in terms of the pie. And so that's things like what's called Google schema. If somebody tells you what's your Google schema look like, you can't, it's really just your address and your physical location, phone number, and things about your business that is in the header of your website. As Google crawls through that website, they will use that schema to figure out what are they reading. Keywords in the title, make sure that stuff's all spelled correctly. Spelling's so important. And yet they don't, nobody really takes that seriously sometimes. If they've got a spelling error in their website or something along those lines, spelling does make a difference, making sure that everything's spelled correctly. Citation signals, this makes up about almost 11%. And citations are really important because they work very similar to credit reports. There's 3 credit reporting agencies right now that there's essentially 3 credit reporting agencies that exist, and they comprise your credit report. So the same thing works with a business or your listing on Google. The way that you're listed among like Bing, the way in Yahoo and Apple Maps and Waze and Google Maps and everything else that's out there from a mapping perspective on up to Yellow Pages and Avo, if you're on Avo, if you're an attorney, Angie's List, if you're in the contracting business, that kind of thing. Having your citations consistent, like spelling again, and then making sure that your phone number is correct, making sure that your business is the same across each of those listings is really important and really vital, because if any of that information is out of whack or out of sync, Google's going to spit it back out at you, and they're not going to be really happy with it. It's not going to make you happy because you're not going to get the kind of traction that you want to get you on page 1 with Google on those local searches. Behavioral signals, those are things like mobile click to call, and whether somebody utilizes your call to action button, checks in your business on social media and that kind of thing. That's actually really an important aspect of some of the things that you can do, is to have that access readily available to your customers, to your clients, so that they can review you, they can do things like call you and that kind of stuff. It's really important. Personalization. This is less important. We start to get to the less important stuff. 6%. Say you're a landscaping company and you're in a busy area like Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. There's about a bajillion landscapers out there, literally thousands of them. And so what you need to do to distinguish yourself is that you need person A and person B. Person A lives in Frisco, person B lives in Mansfield. You want to have the person A see something different than the person B in Mansfield. So they might see, different addresses, different phone numbers, 817 for Fort Worth, and then 972 or 214 for Dallas. You may want to have different phone numbers for those different folks. So that's an important thing as well. Personalization, less important, but still, if you're in a busy niche, that's something you probably want to do. Social signals, believe it or not, that's really low, 3%. Your engagement on Twitter, Facebook, and Google is less important to all of the search engines than anything else that you do. So all these people that are pushing to do social media, that are pushing to, it's less important now to do social media, especially because it is more difficult with iPhone users and to be able to get through on ads and things like that, because of iOS 14. That's made it a lot tougher for folks to see ads on and be able to utilize, for businesses to be able to utilize those ads effectively. So Social signals are far less effective now, a far less effective way to do that. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any concerns, let me know. This is the second video that I did using a thing called StreamYard. Was turned on to it by a buddy of mine named Pete, and I'm using it, and it's pretty cool. It lets me kind of broadcast to a couple of different channels. So it's pretty cool stuff. If you're interested in knowing a little bit about my business, go to www.ravenstreet.partners, and you can learn a little bit about what we do and a little bit about what we have to offer your business. It's a comprehensive company. We do everything soup to nuts, including mailing and that kind of stuff, but mostly it's digital. So thank you for your time, and we appreciate it.